Warmth for two. Mark and Emma lived together for more than 10 years. Years their lives flowed calmly, almost without sharp waves. A small apartment renovation, made by myself. Warm evenings in the kitchen when it was raining in the yard. They had its traditions Sunday breakfasts with pancakes, movies on Fridays, and small trips on sea once a year, hear me always. She said that he and Mark could listen easily. Didn't argue over little things, brought coffee to bed. When I saw that she was tired, she liked this calm hope, but over time exactly. She began to press like a blanket under which it was cozy. But it was difficult for her to breathe. It seemed that life had lost its luster. Everything became predictable, but in the mirror she saw that girl who once laughed. For no reason, but a tired woman who lacks fire. One day, a new colleague Alex appeared at work. The younger energetic always looked at with a joke. It is different from married, stable, but simply as a woman, and in this, there was something she had been missing for a long time. At first, it was the ordinary conversations in the office, and then coffee after work, short messages in the evening, and one day after everyone had left the company. It all came together. Without a plan, without intention. Just a moment in which she felt that she was still alive, after returning home. That night, Emma stood in the shower for a long time trying wash off not only the smell of wine, but also the burden of guilt. Slept with his hands spread, as always, trustingly in a childish way. She looked at him and felt my heart break. From shame, the next days passed in the usual rhythm of Mark's. Didn't notice anything or pretended not to notice Emma. Tried to behave in the same way, but inside her corroded the feeling, lying. Every touch of a man seemed like a reminder of treason. And one evening, she could not stand it. Said Mark, I made a mistake. He was silent for a long time, then quietly asked, You love him? No, whispered she just. I wanted to feel that she could still be someone else. Not only his wife. His brand stood up, went out on the balcony for a long time. Stood there looking into the darkness. She was waiting for a bang door, the cry of anything. But there was only silence. Then he came back and said, I don't know if I can forget, but I know that I love you, and love is not only joy, but also pain. They didn't talk about it for more weeks. They just lived nearby, but with caution over time tension. Fell asleep. They started talking to cook again. Laughed together, but a different quality appeared between them. Honesty that seemed before superfluous. Emma no longer looked for fire from the outside. She started, put it in. What they had. They went to the sea in the same way. A place where we once met on the beach to the sound of the waves. I said, thank you for not breaking what was possible. Relax, Brand. I smiled. Happiness is not when everything is flawless. It is when, after the storm, we don't care. Together, we look at the same sky has passed several months, and now the story continued. From his point of view, I never thought that I could cheat, no. Because I thought I was the perfect man. It's just that we were your loved ones for 10 years. Laughter, jokes, common nonsense, I knew. Her every habit as she presses her lips when she is married. As always leaves a sip of coffee in the cup. As at night, looking for my hand under the blanket when she said those two simple words, I cheated on her. It's like the sound in my head has turned off. I looked at her and did not recognize her. He was silent because there was none. What to say? Anger came later. Not immediately at first, there was emptiness. I looked to our photos for smiles and I thought it was all a lie. And then began to remember every little thing about her. Suddenly, I will stay at work for a new dress, her fatigue, and everything fell into place. I didn't scream, probably because the scream didn't regains trust. I was just silent, talked for a long time, only with. He was the only one who listened to the dog. Without question, she walked next to her as if quietly. I was afraid to break my breath, and I noticed that despite everything, she stayed. She didn't run away. She just made excuses. I was there and looked into my eyes. I understood. This is not a story. This is a story about treason, about the choice. She stumbled, but did not lose me, and I faced the choice to stay in his own. Angry or in our lives one evening, I sat down next to each other and said, I can't forget, but I can probably try to forgive. She cried, and then for the first time after everything, I felt something else, not pain, but relief, because forgiveness is not a weakness. This is the way to get ourselves back. We started from the beginning slowly, without loud words. I learned again to touch her no. Thinking about another face, she would trust me to stay. We laughed, sometimes we cried, but it was all real. 3 years passed. Mark and EMA went to sea, to where the car once all started. Drove along the coast and the wind developed Emma's hair. She laughed, and this laugh was no longer filled. Guilting, fear and the ease that was so lacking once. Mark looked at her and thought that even what a storm shared their lives could not destroy the main thing. They learned to talk about everything, even about what pain used to stay inside. They opened each other's hearts every day like books. Page after page on the beach, they sat down by the water. Mark took out an old box that he had kept there for years. Were there postcards, flowers from trips, photos from small, with signatures now and always. EMA took his hand. You know, I was afraid that I would never be able to regain your trust. I was also afraid, Mark said, but look, here we are. And it's no coincidence that they are. Sat and listened to the noise of the waves and felt how the past became a dead harem and treason was part of their power. Guilt, pain, all this was now the background for them. Choosing to stay together, Emma bent down, hugged him. And they looked silently at the sunset now. They knew. Happiness does not mean that everything. Perfect happiness means that even after the deepest crack, they were able to restore its heat, and it became even stronger and itself. Through that storm, they realized the main love. It's not just a feeling, it's a daily choice to stay close. Even when the heart remembers the pain, but stay together and to share the light they now found inside themselves. For watching, thank you.